Here we have a SAT math question. Okay, let's go to the information. Jan is performing an experiment in which he combines potassium and water to produce potassium hydroxide. The amount of water W in milliliters needed to create a chemical reaction between potassium and water can be modeled by the equation W equals to 1.6 times A positive 10, where A is the amount of potassium hydroxide in grams Jan wishes to produce from the reaction. According to the model, how much more potassium hydroxide in grams produced for each additional milliliter of water used in the reaction? So we have to find how much more potassium hydroxide in grams produced. Since our aim is to find the amount of potassium hydroxide produced in grams, we have to solve for A in this equation, because here A represents the amount of potassium hydroxide. Okay, now let me write the given equation, that is W equal to 1.6 times A positive 10. Okay, now let me rewrite the equation as 1.6 times A positive 10 equals to W. Okay, now I have to solve for A in this equation. For that, I have to get rid of this positive 10. For that, I am subtracting 10 from both sides. So positive 10, negative 10 will cancel. I'm getting 1.6 times A equals to W negative 10. Okay, now let me divide each term by 1.6. Let me do it. So this 1.6 will cancel out. Then I'm getting A equals to this W over 1.6 can be written as 1 over 1.6 times W negative. When I divide 10 by 1.6, I'm getting 6.25. So then I'm getting A equals to, when I divide this 1 over 1.6, I'm getting 0.625 W negative 6.25. Okay, further I'm writing A equals to negative 6.25 positive 0.625 W. Okay, so according to the question, we have to find how much more potassium hydroxide in grams for each additional milliliter of water used in the reaction. Okay, now first what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in W equals to 1 in this equation. So to find the amount of potassium hydroxide produced for 1 milliliter of water, then I'm getting A equals to negative 6.25 positive 0.625 times 1. So which is simplified to negative 6.25 positive 0.625. Okay, now I increase the water from 1 milliliter to 2 milliliters. That is the amount of water is increased by just 1 milliliter. Then what will happen? So for that, to find the amount of potassium hydroxide produced in grams, I have to plug in W equals to 2 into this equation. So let me plug in A equals to negative 6.25 positive 0.625 times 2. So further, it can be written as negative 6.25. Since the 0.625 is multiplied by 2, we can write 0.625 positive 0.625. Since it is multiplied by 2, I write this term 2 times. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the amount of water further by 1 milliliter. That is from 2 milliliters to 3 milliliters. So now I increase the amount of water by 1 milliliter. So what will happen? So to find the amount of potassium hydroxide in grams produced, again I have to plug in W is equal to 3 into this equation. So let me do it. Then A equals to negative 6.25 positive 0.625 times 3. Okay, now negative 6.25 positive. So here 0.625 is multiplied by 3. So we can write this 0.625 3 times. Let me write it. Okay, so every time when I increase the amount of water by 1 milliliter, the amount of potassium hydroxide produced in grams increases by 0.625. So according to the model, so for each additional milliliter of water used in the reaction, then the amount of potassium hydroxide produced in grams is 0.625. We find 0.625 in option B. So the correct answer choice for this question is option B.